Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Teresa Carter. This is the first of a 4-part series, and it's brought to you courtesy of Visi. We're going to be looking into what may be the most exciting and profound product to enter the health and wellness arena in quite a long time. This is a product that many of you on the line, myself included, have dreamed about. Others have waited patiently for it, knowing that it was a possibility. Well, tonight we're going to be talking about enzyme hydrolyzed collagen. Now, this is not just any collagen. So in order to truly understand and appreciate what makes this collagen so unique, we're going to get an expert's opinion. Our guest expert is a biochemist, and for the past 4 decades, she's specialized in the field of amino acids research and development, and of particular interest in her research and in her career has been the study of proteins in general, but collagen in specific and its numerous clinical and therapeutic applications. She's joining us tonight to give us a guided tour, and if you will, a guided tour into some of the most miraculous processes of the human body and its utilization of collagen. Welcome to the call, biochemist Rena Davis.
Well, thank you, Teresa, and thank you for such a glorious intro.
There's a lot to cover here tonight. I was hoping that we could just start out really basic. Why do we need collagen? What is it? And then we'll progress from there.
Well, TC, collagen is the natural and structural protein of the human body, and proteins are made up of amino acids, and amino acids do all kinds of wonderful things in our body. Without them, we would not be able to regenerate any cell. Now, the importance of collagen cannot possibly be underlined hard enough because as we age, and literally in Leninger's Biochemistry and several other manuals that exist on the planet, the breakdown of the collagen of the human body is the beginning of the aging process and signals the degenerative process instead of the regenerative process. It can begin actually very early in our lives. Some studies suggest that women's connective tissue and structural collagen begins to start breaking down as early as age 25 or 26, a little bit later for the guys. But the things we begin to notice is the thickness and elasticity of our skin begins to diminish, the wrinkles begin to form, the hair changes in color and texture, even in thickness. Joints begin to get creaky and achy. We begin to have diminished flexibility in our body. Even our vision and our cognitive function can be influenced by the breakdown of the connective tissue of the human body. Think of it this way. If we think about a house, the structure of the house is the foundation and the framing. Without that foundation and framing, we wouldn't have windows or doors, we wouldn't have plumbing, wiring, or roof, let alone walls that go around the bathroom and the bedroom. So in our bodies, the structural protein collagen is absolutely critical. And we have seen now from years and years of research in this area that goes back to the 1970s, in fact, that supplementing a high-quality collagen, and not all collagens will be the same, that we can have an enormous effect on these symptoms and signs of aging. Now, proteins are more plentiful in the body than anything other than water. And one of the, most important things about these proteins, these collagen proteins, is certainly the maintenance of our health, the maintenance of our vitality, and it's certainly of primary importance as we grow and develop. And so our body is manufacturing collagen right from the very get-go. The body takes in protein sources. Your body is designed to regenerate collagen. And then as we begin to age, and age isn't necessarily correlatable to the years that we have spent. With high-stress society, it's actually possible for us to age more rapidly than our years can actually show. And even some of the things that we do that are good for us can also have degenerative and aging effects. We forget that one of the greatest free radical creators is exercise. So, the thing that we know is that women by age 26 and men by as early as mid-30s to late 30s, our bodies are not reproducing collagen like we did when we were 20 or 18 or 15 or 12. And so we begin to see then that as we get older and older and we're not replacing that valuable collagen, that's when things begin to break down. That's literally what causes the wrinkles, the fatigue, the can-do, want-to attitude, all of those things begin to happen because our body is not reproducing and replacing collagen like we do when we're young.
Interesting. Okay, let's just look at the word collagen. Etymologically speaking, that comes from the Greek. Basically, it means glue, and it means glue holding us together. Could you just comment on that for a moment before we segue here further?
Yeah, the word is colla, K accent, O-L-L-A, and it literally translates meaning glue. And that is the root of the English word collagen. And basically, that's what holds us all together. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't have blood vessel walls, we wouldn't have skin, we wouldn't have bones. My gosh, if you break your little pinky finger, the body goes in and lays down a collagen framework over that break so that the body can then redeposit all the necessary minerals to repair that break. So, it really is a very important aspect of all of these processes that go on in the body. In fact, sometimes I wonder how much any of us really know about how important this particular protein is, because it forms the base of our teeth. It is the material that makes our ligaments and our tendons, our skin. It strengthens even the arterial walls and blood vessel walls of the body, absolutely critical for blood flow, red blood cell formation, and the list goes on.
Let's just up now from collagen to hydrolyzed collagen. And even there, not all hydrolyzation is created equal. Could you just elaborate on that, please, Rena?
Oh, boy, and, it is so true. I mean, it's been known for a while that collagen supplementation can be beneficial in recovering from all sorts and manners of injuries and surgeries. And so there's been several sources and several forms of hydrolyzed collagen available over the years. In fact, the first patent was filed back in the 1970s. Now, what we know about enzyme hydrolyzation is that it does something that's very unique over chemical hydrolyzation, over heat hydrolyzation. There's lots of different ways to process collagen. But cold enzyme allows that process to break certain amino acids out into free form, but leaves intact certain short peptides. Now, studies have actually been done where we can draw blood, serum, and analyze it for those proteins, and those short-chain peptides are definitely present in the bloodstream after consuming hydrolyzed collagen protein. There isn't another collagen product out there made in any other way that can lay claim to that. And in fact, most protein powders and protein supplements are not anywhere near as bioavailable as enzyme hydrolyzed collagen.
Let's just talk about one of the products. Let's talk about whey protein, whey shakes, and whey supplements that one can get, let's say at a health food store or online or wherever they get those.
Okay, first and foremost, the natural protein of the human body is collagen. And whey protein has what we call a protein efficiency ratio, okay? It's a rating of how well the body utilizes proteins. And every study that I've ever seen, enzyme hydrolyzed collagen was at a much higher PER than any whey-based protein, even the newer whey-based proteins, by the way, that are now out where they filter out the lactose so that those people who are lactose sensitive can utilize it in their, breakfast smoothie. But the bottom line is we know that the body has identity with things. The cells have memory. And because of that, when you take in enzyme hydrolyzed collagen, the body knows specifically that this is what it's made of. And because of that, you get a 2.9 or higher PER, whereas most of your whey-based products, and there can be a variation, again, depending upon how that particular protein was processed. But none of them, regardless of the process, can equal that protein efficiency ratio that we see from enzyme hydrolyzed collagen.
Once I heard a conference that you did, and you mentioned the preeminent collagen specialist, Arnold Gans. You and I both had the privilege of interviewing him on a radio show. That was, by now maybe 5 years ago. Very interesting topic. I remember him saying there is not another single substance out there that's natural to the body like collagen, not whey, not eggs. Could you just please address that?
Well, and it's absolutely true. It doesn't mean that we don't utilize proteins that we dietarily consume. But, the issue is how well do you do it? You see, for me, the body is probably the most amazing, efficient machine that's ever been studied. not a choo-choo train, not a hummingbird's wing, comes close to the efficacy of what's inside of us. And whenever we can put in a fuel that the body absorbs at a very high ratio, has identity with, and utilizes so rapidly and efficiently, then we are literally maintaining this exact design, the design of a highly efficient system, whereby, by the way, it means that you're not throwing a lot out, or you're not converting it to fat because the body can't use it or doesn't want to use it or is sensitive to it or even in some cases allergic to it or intolerant of it, and there is a difference. So this whole aspect of having, and I'm, for one, I am over the moon about this product. I have waited for a long time to see a good enzyme hydrolysate come back into the world for people, because for years I worked with a product that's no longer out there, and we saw the benefits for over 7 years. So we know by practical experience, clinical research, published studies, that this is the best for the human body that there is.
I'm not going to digress too much here, but when you first contacted me about this product 3 months or so ago, I just remember you saying, and TC, it's so clean. But let's get back to what you were just talking about. Another very popular drink or mix or a shake, let's call it that many people are taking in the hopes of not only imparting health and wellness, but perhaps slimming down. That would be something based on soy. What's good about it? What's not as good about it? Where do we stand?
Okay, well, soy, at least where humans are concerned, has one of the lowest protein efficiency ratios. And, soy is also a plant that has been molecularly massaged in science quite a bit. It's also one of the food groups, not unlike dairy, where there is a significant part of the population who have allergies to it and intolerances. Now, the unfortunate part about soy is that for many people, you don't understand the reaction once you get it. There are proteins in soy in a particular format that certain bodies cannot digest. Now, with a lot of products and a lot of nutrients or a lot of foods that you have an adverse reaction to, you get the hives, you break out in a rash, you itch, you burn, your throat closes up, and, you find out that you can't eat that food or consume those particular forms of proteins. Soy is kind of a sneaky character. What it does is the proteins that these people cannot digest present in the soy, they get in and they attach to a cell. And like some crazy, insane lover, they won't let that cell absorb any other proteins, and so cell apoptosis or cell death happens. When that cell dies, it moves off and gets to another cell and another cell. Some studies actually suggest that much of the problems that we have in North America and indeed in other countries with thyroid disorders are because of soy in the diet. And lots of times, of course, there can be hidden soy. We don't know when we grab that hamburger at the quickie place because we're running late what really is in there. And so unfortunately, very often people can go through life consuming soy and not recognizing that they have put their body at significant risk because it takes years before the symptomology shows up instead of the instant reaction like you would have to a peanut allergy or even a dairy allergy.
That was extremely diplomatically expressed on your behalf, Rena, there where you said it was molecularly massaged. The bottom line is that we've got something a little bit better here, not only qualitatively, quantitatively. What happens if our natural stores of collagen get depleted? How do they get depleted? What happens to our bodies? What might we be trying to fend off if we don't tend to this sooner than later?
Well, there are a number of things where these collagens play an enormously important role. And I'm going to take this two directions, TC. First, I think for the weekend warrior, the committed athlete who's, jogging 5 miles 3 times a week, riding his bike 100 miles once a week, and probably working out in the gym. This, as I mentioned earlier, exercise creates free radicals, and those free radicals come from the breakdown of the tissue. And one of the first studies that were done on collagen was in sports medicine. They found that the connective tissue of the body was literally breaking down due to activity, and that supplementing an enzyme hydrolyzed collagen not only improved the performance of the athlete In other words, they could get more done with less stress on the system, and that was often marked by how rapidly they recovered and how little lactic acid was created after a competition or an aggressive workout. So that's one side of the coin. Collagen for our young people, active people, is extremely important. I also think that proteins are becoming a little more polluted. What farming and agriculture have had to do to meet the demand of a world population's hunger is to take some steps that literally interfere with the overall health of the animals. And so we're ending up in a situation where our animal proteins are not as digestible as they were back in the day when the cow was raised on the farm with lots of love and affection and a normal diet. So one of the things that has come to the surface, especially in the last 2 decades, is that the proteins that we are getting dietarily very often are not sustaining normal growth and normal repair. Now I want to flip forward to those in the over-the-hill group, in my group, and one of the most important supplements that I believe to be of great value is an enzyme hydrolyzed collagen for those people who have concerns about bone density. You know, we used to only worry about osteoporotic situations, osteopenia into advanced osteoporosis in women, and a lot of that was because of hormone imbalance. But today, we are seeing it across the board happening every decade to more and more of the guys as well. I can tell you that I'm already using this particular protein in a case of a very good friend who went for a massage, and when she got up off the table, her wrist really hurt. And she said to the massage therapist, "Boy, this is really odd. I mean, my wrist really hurts." And she said, "Well, we did do a lot of work on your lymph system, so let's just watch it." Well, she got in her car and drove home. The pain got worse and worse. She called me up. I said, "You get to a hospital, get an x-ray." Well, they came back with advanced osteoporosis. 5 days later, she slipped and fell and had so many fractures in her ribs that they were too numerous to count. Now, we've been using a lot of this enzyme hydrolyzed collagen in her protocol so that we could hopefully get this situation turned around. Remember that collagen, one form of collagen, lays across the bone and creates the framework, creates that framework for minerals to be deposited. But here's another little secret that a lot of people don't know, and that is amino acids serve as agents to collect up the minerals out of the gut, carry them through the blood, and deliver them to their target site. So I am happy to say that after only 65 days on this aggressive therapy with additional minerals and also the collagen, that her wrist is healed so miraculously that when they x-rayed that, they couldn't believe the difference and change in even a very short amount of time in her overall bone density. She's going back again in another month to have the hip redone and the ribs redone, and I think that we're going to find that collagen has gotten in and done the job it was supposed to do. So, you know, we need it on a lot of levels. Think about your brain. Think about your heart, ligaments, muscles, tendons, arterial wall, our skin, even our brain is a significant amount of collagen. So we need this collagen, and we need to make sure that our body has access to it if we're under a lot of stress, if we are performing exercise and competition. We need it to be able to heal, and we need it to be able to maintain our collagen structures. I will tell you that there's no doubt that most people, when they start on this enzyme collagen formula, will notice two things pretty rapidly. Their skin is moisture, it looks more alive, and its elasticity is better. And two, they're finding that pain is diminishing. And it's diminishing because we have provided the raw material that the body identifies with so that it can do the repair.
I know this is a bit of an overview call. There's just so much to talk about. But you scooped in and brought into the fold young people, people that are maybe even in their teens, but 20s, 30s, 40s. This is not just an over-the-hill, to use your phrase there, supplement. This is something for everybody. And when people start on this enzyme collagen formula, let's just talk about this enzyme collagen formula. It's Probíta. It's different. What makes it so different besides this exquisite, complex, and very sophisticated science of enzyme hydrolyzation?
Well, you know, TC, one of the things that I really got excited about when I first spoke with the Lewises and others about this product coming to the market, because it's a chew. If you ever want to have a little fun, just go plop yourself down in a fast food restaurant and watch people eat. The first part of creating the whole digestive cascade of chemistry begins with chewing. When we were little, I can remember my dad sitting at that table saying, "You have to chew that mouthful of food 40 times. Well, I would be surprised if any of you, after a month of observation, found anybody that chewed their food 20 times, let alone 40 times. That saliva not only starts a pre-digestive process, and because there are receptor sites in our cheeks and in our tongue and under our tongue that actually allow for certain nutrients, if their molecular structure is small enough, to immediately be absorbed and carried into the bloodstream. So the fact that we are taking this collagen chew, and it's a little bit chewy, and I kind of like that. You know, it's a little bit of an addictive product for me. I mean, I could really eat a lot of this stuff. My body loves it. And we start this whole digestive process the correct way by chewing this. And for people who have difficulty chewing or teeth problems, you can actually dissolve it in some warm water and drink it. But if you do that, I highly recommend that you chew it. People don't chew soup, but they should, because we need that salivary component from the very top, because it triggers chemicals in our stomach. It triggers and shoots a warning shot across the bowel to the gallbladder and the liver for bile release, and even for the production of enzymes that are released from the pancreas for the last stage of digestion in the small intestine. So it is a really important thought. I got so excited about this, knowing that the smaller amino acids would be immediately absorbed, and very often people could notice something almost instantly chewing it up. But it sets the stage for not only digesting the Probíta itself, but the very meal you're going to have a half hour or so later. So overall, just with that part of the process, we literally will see and hear from people that their colon is working better, that their digestion is better, that they're not having overacid or underacid. Everything begins to work better because we all forgot about chewing.
Excellent. We're going to be talking about that more in our upcoming calls. This is a bit of a shorter platform than we're normally accustomed to. Rena, any closing thoughts?
Well, I think I just want to say to our listening audience how delightful and fun it is for me to have this product and to work with all of you and to work with wonderful folks at Visi and introducing a product that is so beneficial. You know, TC, we haven't even touched on half of the benefits yet of this wonderful product. We haven't talked about appetite. We haven't talked about high inch loss per pound drop. We haven't talked about a lot of benefits that are going to be sustained with this product. And for me personally, if I had to tell you one thing that I really love about Probíta, I love how at almost 67 years of age, my body is totally reshaping like a younger body. Love that part.
It's almost hard to believe that one product can affect so many different areas of the body, but then, Rena, when we hear you explain how foundational that is to our very biochemical makeup, it starts to make a little bit more sense. So to all of our listeners, I encourage you to get back to the person who invited you here tonight. Keep a journal, look in the mirror, take some photographs. Things are going to change. With that, I'm going to wish everyone a great evening. Rena Davis, I know this has been a decade in the coming for you, and it's really wonderful to hear you excited about this, and thank you so much for introducing me to Probíta.
Thank you, and thanks to everybody who joined us tonight.
We'll see you all next time. Take care, everyone. Good night.